guys, happy Monday. I'm obviously not here today, and so what you're going to be doing is listening to my awesome, beautiful voice with a mini lesson on YouTube. So today you have 3 things you need to do. 1, finish any unfinished writing assignments you might have. So that's your 4 idea maps. There should be 10 ideas on each, your draft, your revisions, and then your typed up final draft. Okay? Think in your head right now if any of those you need to do still. Make a mental note to do those today, first thing once work time starts. 2, you need to revise your writing portfolio. Okay, I looked through your portfolios and I noticed that there were some things that everybody was, not everybody, but most people were doing that could really be improved. So I'm going to tell you what those 3 things are in a second. And then if you're done with all of that, then you're going to free write. Okay, what I'm going to talk about right now is how to revise your writing portfolio. So there's 3 things that I noticed that people were having issues with. First one, and I'm going to delete this so that you can see this a little bit better. The first one is to be specific. Okay, a lot of you, I was noticing, were saying things very vaguely like, it all helped me, or it helped me add details, which is very, very vague. We know more than that. Second one is to explain what your writing sample is. A lot of people did not answer that at the bottom of every slide. And then 3, put a snapshot of the writing that you're actually talking about. I'm going to start with this be specific one, okay? So if I'm looking at my writing here, this is a slide, my favorite strategies. This kind of an answer is the kind of answer I usually would see. So it would say something like, the strategies that helped me the most were all of them. They helped me because they made my writing better. This is super duper vague, and we want to be a little bit more specific than that. So instead of the strategies that helped me were all of them, you are going to want to talk about a specific strategy. If you're like, I don't know what strategies we use, go ahead and just click this link. I set it there for you for this exact reason. And you'll notice that I listed everything that we did, the strategies we did for this unit. Making idea maps, using those idea maps, adding sensory details, using spell check on Google Drive, using a peer or self checklist for editing, telling a partner what you're going to write about before writing. All of these were things, believe it or not, that we did in this unit. So those are the things that you want to pick. So for me, I think what helped me the most was making a plan before I wrote. That really, really helped me to figure out what was important. And then also going back and expanding parts that were really important to me. So I'm going to go back to my slide I was working on, which was slide 8. And I'm going to talk about that. So the strategies that helped me the most were making a plan before I wrote and adding details to my most important part. They help me not just make my writing better, because that's vague. So I'm going to say they help me because once I made a plan, and especially after I went back and bracketed my most important part, I realized what I really wanted to write about. Okay? I would definitely want to use them again because, and then why is it that I want to do that again? I would definitely want to, I'm going to be specific here, instead of use them, I'm going to say use a plan again because it helped, and I'm thinking in my brain, how did using a plan help me get my stuff done? And how did it make me write what I wanted to write? So I would definitely want to use a plan again because it helped me write my draft quickly because I already knew what I wanted to write about. Okay, and then also the other thing I said was bracketing the most important part. So I'm going to say I would also bracket and add details to my most important part because, and the reason why that helped is because it made my most important part seem important, because it made my most important part seem more important. Okay? Notice the difference in length as before I had it and then after. Before it was just, it helped me make it better. Da-da! Now it's things like, because it helps me know what I want to write about. It's because it made me know, it made my most important part seem more important. These are specific things that it helped with my writing, okay? So that's that first one. That's that first one that we need to make sure that, that's my first one that we need to make sure that we're doing, Okay, it's the be specific. Second thing you need to make sure you do is explain what your writing sample is. Wait, but before I go on, go ahead and think in your head. Do you need to go back to your writing and add more details and be more specific? Did you have something similar to what I had originally? And if you do need to go back, which most of you do, make a mental note. That's what you're going to do today. The second thing that I want you to make sure that you've done is explain what your writing sample is. So I'm actually going to make this bigger because I have so much writing, I lost room. This part you actually need to respond to. So this writing sample is actually talking about the sample that I'm supposed to put right here. Okay, that's the snapshot of the picture I'm supposed to do. So obviously the first thing I'm going to need to do is actually put that sample in. So if you notice right here, this to do today, the third one here is put a snapshot of the writing you're talking about. That snapshot you're supposed to put in is whatever you're talking about here. So the two things I talked about was the plan that I made before I wrote, and then also bracketing off my most important details. I already put in my revisions, like adding those details to my most important part. So I think what I actually just want to make the snapshot of is my actual plan, the outline I made before I wrote. So that's what I'm going to do, and that's going to take care of this number 3, and it's going to help me with number 2. So I'm going to do that. I'm going to go to Insert, I'm going to go to Image, and then I'm going to take a snapshot. I'm not sure if it's going to work. I'm going to fast forward. Okay, I fast forwarded. I put that snapshot in. I'm just going to go ahead and click these directions and hit backspace to delete them, and then replace it with my awesome image of my plan. Okay. So now I've done this number 3, put a snapshot of the writing you're talking about. Now I can do this number 2, explain what your writing sample is. This is my writing sample. Okay, so this writing sample is the plan that I made before I wrote. It shows, what does it show that I did in my writing process? So this shows that I thought about what I wanted to write before I wrote it, and shows my process of doing that. So that's what you do for talking about explaining what your writing sample is. Explain what this picture is and why you put it in. Okay? So there you have it. For your revising your writing portfolio today, remember to be specific in your answers, explain what your writing sample is, and then actually put that writing sample in with a snapshot of the writing you're talking about. Remember, every slide has directions for how to insert an image, so you should know how to do that, and that's that. Okay? So right now, I just want you to think about that you need to, what it is that you need to do first. Do you need to finish any unfinished writing assignments first? Revise your writing portfolio? Or nobody's free writing first, because all of these are things that you need to do. Okay? Once you're done with all 3 of these things, then you may free write. Okay? Take a second, and if the substitute could please pause the video so you give people time to think about this and talk to each other. Go ahead and tell the person next to you what is the first thing and the second thing that you are going to be doing today from this list. Ready, set, go. Okay, hopefully you paused it and talked about it. And now that you know what you need to do, you need to be doing this silently today. It should be silent in here. Okay, I'm looking forward to great sub-reports because I know you all know how to behave and you all know what you need to do. And I will see you tomorrow.